I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I don't have a whole ton of stuff that I got in this week. I did purchase quite a bit of things, but everything is taking so long to get here, like the new Pat McGrath big mothership palette for the holidays. I ordered a whole bunch of stuff from the Makeup by Mario. I overnighted it on Wednesday night, and it's not supposed to be here till Monday. And I'm like, overnight shipping. And I really wanted to do a dedicated video on the Makeup by Mario stuff, but hopefully I can still do that next week. I'm not sure. Otherwise, it'll be in the Saturday haul. But I placed an order on the Sally Beauty website for my favorite hair oil treatment. And this is the one and only argan oil. And I've been using this oil for years on my hair. It's one of the only oils that I feel really helps moisturize my hair, but also tames like the frizz. I've got naturally wavy, fine, thick hair. So there's like a lot of strands, but they're finer strands, and that natural wave, I can really get wild with the humidity. So this really helps with that, and I just love this stuff. So I grabbed 2 of the 8 fluid ounce bottles. It's this right here. It's just really my favorite hair oil. Pixi Beauty was also doing 20% off, so I purchased 2 of the Pixi Skin Treats Glow Tonic 5% glycolic acid toners. These are the 8.5 fluid ounce bottles right here, because I'm on my last bottle like this. It's like, I think, down to here, and I use this morning and night, and I'm still just absolutely loving it. I kind of really feel like this product has changed my skin for the better. I just really love using this stuff. I can't even tell you how many bottles I've gone through, and I still need to film that empties video. But I just absolutely love this stuff. So does my mom. She uses it every single day as well. So that's the Pixi Glow Tonic. And then I placed another order on the Jill Stuart website, and I knew this product was coming because Food Japan on Instagram had posted this palette, and so I kept checking the Jill Stuart website, and finally it became available. And it's a large 7 shadow eyeshadow palette for their 15th anniversary collection, which this is the box packaging right here. So there's a total of 14 grams or 0.49 ounces of product in 7 shades, and there's a little pouch that comes inside the box as well that you can put the palette in. It's got a little button snap with a pocket in there, and then the keychain here has got 15th on there for their 15th anniversary. So here is the palette right here, and then there's a mirror inside that's the same size of the palette, and then you've got your 7 shadows. This center shade I worked around when I used this palette to kind of show you guys the overspray, but that's a little overspray that says 15th in there. All of these shades have a shimmer or a shine to them, and I was trying to think of the best way to kind of explain Jill Stuart shadows, and they're like soft, but they're still very pretty, and I feel like the shimmer aspect of them doesn't accentuate texture on the eyes, but you're still able to wear like a really pretty shimmer. So that's like the best way that I could think to describe it. Like you'll see in the swatches, they don't swatch to the most saturated, the most shiny or anything like that, but they look really beautiful and kind of elegant on the lids. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch these for you guys. I'm going to ruin the overspray too. I just wanted you guys to be able to see it there. But yeah, I just think these look so pretty on the eyes. There's like a smoothness factor to them, even though they have a shimmer in them. So those are the first 4, and these do have that same kind of Jill Stuart rose scent that's in a lot of her products. And then these 3 are kind of the berry tones. There goes the 15th. This center shade is the most sparkly in the whole palette too. But those are the swatches right there. And I've just really enjoyed each look that I've done out of here, and just very simple to use, easy to blend out, soft, pretty eyeshadows. So that's the 15th anniversary 7-pan eyeshadow palette from Jill Stuart right there. Show them. And then I also picked up another shade of the Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Concealer, and I got 140C, which was the next shade down in the cool undertone. The first one that I got was 120C. When I hauled the first one, I kind of mentioned how unflattering I felt that the concealer looked underneath my eyes, and I've come to the conclusion that it was for 2 reasons. For one, it was too light, which is really rare for me to have something that's too light, especially in concealers, but also that I had used too much product. So less product, and then the shade 140 140C, which is a couple shades darker than the 120C, and I really do like this concealer. I think it looks super pretty underneath the eyes. I still feel that 140C is still kind of light for my skin. I could actually get another shade darker, which I think I'm going to do because I feel like it looks really pretty underneath the eyes. I just do 3 dots kind of right here, here, and here, and blend it out with a sponge. Again, it still looks a little bright, but I do have quite a few lights reflecting off that too. So at some point I am going to order another deeper shade with a cool undertone, but I want to compare these 2 shades side by side so you can see them. So 120C is the first one that I got in the Rare Beauty. This is the packaging. There's 0.25 ounces of product in here too, which is quite a bit. So this is 120 right there. And then here is 140. I kind of think that the 120 is a little bit more yellow, even though both of them are a C concealer for a cool concealer. And yeah, I didn't use as much, and it looks a lot better with a lighter application and a little bit more matching shade for me. But I really like this underneath the eyes. Again, I have it underneath my eyes today, and it looks really pretty. And it blends out easy too. And then I ordered 2 products from Colourpop's Coral collection. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I got one of their blushes, and it's Shook to the Coral Pressed Powder Blush. There's 0.13 ounces of product in here, and this comes in their kind of newer style blush packaging with a little coral reef on there. And this is a really pretty pale coral with some golden shimmers in it. And my pan is actually loose. This isn't magnetized in there, it's just loose, so I'm gonna have to glue it back into the pan. Probably because it is chilly out, but it's a pretty coral shade. I gotta wipe those one swatches off a little bit better. But that is the Shook to the Coral blush from Colourpop right there. And then I also got the Colourpop Coast to Coral Pressed Powder Palette. Comes in cardboard packaging, no mirror in this guy. There's a total of 0.3 ounces of product. And then these shadows are magnetized inside the palette if you want to pull them out. It's almost a standalone for me. There just isn't a light enough shimmer for kind of my inner corner there, but there's a nice matte in there. And I do really like me some Colourpop eyeshadows. But we know this, right? Who was able to get the Hocus Pocus stuff online? Oh, I tried. It didn't happen, so I'm hoping to catch it at Ulta. I really want the Hocus Pocus eyeshadow palette and one of the glitters and the green liner. Hopefully I can get my hands on it tomorrow, but look at how pretty these are. Gosh darn. There's a fly in here, and the cats are sleeping on the job. And then this last guy. This is a matte with those shimmers in it. Matte base. But that's the Shook, is it called Shook to Coral? No, Coast to Coral eyeshadow palette right there, and there's that blush. Just really pretty coral eyeshadows. And then from Ulta, Curiosity kind of really got me on this one. This is the new Becca collaboration with Barbie Ferreira. Hopefully I got that right. And it's the Prismatica face palette. So there's a total of 1.05 ounces or 30 grams of product, which is a ton of product in this guy. I think Waffle's in the window trying to get the fly now. It comes in a clear plastic box, and then here is your actual packaging. It's quite large and bulky for kind of what's inside. I feel like they could have made it a little bit more compact, but it's pretty nonetheless, like with the reflection on there. And then the shape is kind of different. You open it up and it's got this triangle kind of gemstone-ish type feature to it. And then there's a mirror on each window when you open it up. And I kind of had high hopes for this because when I opened it up, the shades look so pretty. And some of these deeper shades I thought I could mix with this center shade to make them more for my skin tone. And that's kind of how I used it, and I feel like this center shade buffed out on the top of the cheeks does look really pretty. It reminds me of the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter, holographic one that I really that I really love. This buffed on the top of the skin looks so pretty, but it's a thicker type of formula, so you have to really work it into the skin, and I kind of feel the same way about this right here. So I was able to mix these two as a highlight. They are difficult to pick up on a brush, and again, you have to really buff them into the skin. And then I use these shades as a blush, and I was really surprised when I went to buff them on the cheeks. They were patchy. Like you could look up close on my cheeks and see like little spots of pigment, like it didn't buff out fully on the skin. And I feel like that's because it's like a thicker, almost, I wouldn't say like sticky, but it's a thicker, grippier type of a formula that doesn't really buff super nice in these pigmented shades. I feel like these guys buff a lot easier than these ones. I don't think this particular formulation is very user friendly. I'm going to go ahead and swatch it for you guys anyways. The formula is thicker and a little bit, I don't know, it feels dimethicone-y, if you will. They just weren't the easiest products to work with. And then we'll do this purple shade right here. So those are the swatches. They actually don't swatch terribly, but application is a little bit more tricky. But that's the Becca and Barbie Ferreira Prismatic Face Palette right there with the interesting packaging. Also from Ulta, I purchased the Too Faced Enchanted Wonderland limited edition makeup collection. Again, I really love the packaging on this year's Too Faced stuff. It just gives me the old school vibes, which I really like. So there are 3 palettes in this set, and also a deluxe sample size of the Better Than Sex mascara, and this one has got white snowflakes on it. I usually give these to my mom because this mascara flakes on me pretty bad. On all 3 of these palettes, it says bulk made in the USA and assembled in the Dominican Republic. So you've got a swan, a deer, and a raccoon on there, and each one of these has 2 face products and 6 eyeshadows. And I found that the shadows in here, they were decent. There was a few duds, but they were pretty much decent eyeshadows, and I was able to get some pretty looks out of them. And the face powders worked out really nice as blushes for me as well. There aren't any highlighters in these 3 that are light enough for my skin tone, so everything in here is a blush on me. So let's go ahead and swatch these. This is the one with the raccoon on the cover, and then there's no mirror in here either. And these palettes smell like maple syrup or something. It's a different scent than I've ever smelled in scented Too Faced products. So I'll swatch these face products first. A really light pink blush and then a golden highlighter. So those are the 2 face products. And this one has 1 pressed glitter, which is this golden shade. Those are the first 4 shadows. And then the pressed glitter. And this is a matte base with golden sparkle in it. These cats. So those are the swatches for the first one, with the raccoon. I've got the one with the fawn on the front. This one has got 2 blush shades, a pink and kind of a peach. Are both of these matte? Yeah, these are both matte blushes in this one. I wore this palette yesterday, and I did like how the look turned out. I brought in my Aether Beauty, though, for a lighter shimmer. And then this is kind of a blue-brown duochrome and a black, matte black. So So there is the palette with the fawn on the front. And then this third one is the one with the swan on the front, and this is the only one that I have not worn yet. There are two blush shades in here. The bottom one is a matte, and the top one is kind of a shimmer. On a deeper skin tone, that would be a really pretty highlight, I think. And then no pressed glitters in here either, and two matte shadows. So this is the only guy I haven't worn yet. Oh, they do smell really good. And then these shadows. And these bottom two. So there is the palette with the swan on the front. And again, that is the Too Faced Enchanted Wonderland limited edition makeup collection, and I got it at Ulta. That's everything that I got in this week that I purchased. I did get in 2 PR packages, and this first one is from Wayne Goss and Beautylish. He came out with 4 blush and highlight duos, and I watched his video on them, and so I was kind of thinking, these are just not going to be shiny enough for me because you guys know I like a super shiny highlight, but these are, they have a beautiful shine to them that it just catches in the light, stunning, but they don't like emphasize like texture on the skin. It's a really beautiful formula. I've been using these all week and they're quickly becoming some of my favorite blush and highlighters. I have got on the one today in Blush Peony, which has got a highlighter with a pink duochrome to it, but it also has a lightness to it that kind of lifts my cheek. And then the blush in here is a matte blush. So you can see in the viewfinder that little shift of pink in the highlighter over that blush, because I kind of carried the highlighter over the top of that blush, so that there's a little bit of a transition between the two. And I just think my cheeks look so pretty, and I've been wearing these again all week and I kind of can't get enough of them. So I'm going to swatch them for you guys. This highlighter in this compact is a little bit more of a thicker formula. I used a little bit more firm brush to pick it up, and then I really worked it into the skin to buff it into the skin, and that's kind of how it ended up on my cheeks, which is really pretty. So I think that's kind of the best way to use it, is kind of a little bit more firm brush and then really buff it into the cheeks. These blushes are super pigmented as well, like just a couple dots of your brush in there and those pick up super easy. So you can see right there the thickness in this one. So I'm just going to buff this out here. And that's every time that I've worn these, that's how I've done it. I've just really kind of worked this into the skin. You can see the glow though. Look at the glow that it gives. Very, very pretty. So that one right there is the one I have on, and that is Blush Peony right there. I forgot to mention that these are made in Canada, and there are 19 grams of product in here, or 0.67 ounces. So you're getting a massive amount of product in each one. This one right here is Coral Rose. There are very, very fine shimmers, golden shimmers in this guy. You kind of have to really look to see them, but they are in there. So I kind of call it like a satin finish. It's not a super matte, but when I used it, I didn't feel like it added a ton of shine on the skin. And this highlighter, oh, the highlighter in this duo isn't quite as thick. It's a little bit more smooth than the highlighter in the Blush Peony duo. But it's so pretty. This is one of my faves. They're all kind of my faves because I really like them. But you don't have to quite buff this highlighter into the skin as much as you do this one, because again, it's not quite as thick of a formulation as this pinker one. And then you can kind of see in there the little bit of shine that that blush has. It's not a lot though. So that's the duo in Coral Rose right there. And then this next one is Vivid Azalea. And when I posted swatches of these on Instagram, this highlighter and this guy right here, people were saying that they looked really similar. And the one that's in the Coral Rose is actually a little bit more golden than the one in the Vivid Azalea. So this looks kind of like a whiter highlighter, but it's got a stronger kind of duochrome to it with a yellow undertone, but it actually goes on lighter than this highlighter right here in the Coral Rose. So this one is Vivid Azalea. This blush in here is a matte, super pigmented, don't need a lot, buffs out on the skin. It's just like a couple dots is all you need. And this highlighter in here is smooth like the other one, like the blush pink, or like the Coral Rose too. So you can see right there, this one is a little bit more golden than this guy, but this still has a warm undertone to it. So when I had swatched them with the pictures, they looked very similar, but the one in the Vivid Azalea is actually lighter than the Coral Rose. And then the last one is Bright Poppy, and I'm obsessed with the blush color in here. This is like a summer blush color if I've ever seen one. This has also got very, very fine shimmers in it. It's not a flat matte blush either. And then this over here is a really kind of rich copper highlight shade. When I use this duo, I either mix the two together to kind of give a little bit more warmth and shine to the blush, or I just use the blush in here because this highlighter is too deep for my skin tone. But this one is pretty smooth as well. It's not quite as thick again as this pink one right here. I love, oh gosh, I love that blush color. It's such a pretty summer shade as we're going into the fall. But those are the duos right there. So we've got Bright Poppy, then you've got Vivid Azalea, Coral Rose, and then this guy right here, what I say it's called? Blush Peony. Blush Peony is the top one right there. So a huge thank you to Wayne and Beautylish for sending these over, and a congratulations to Wayne. I'm just really excited, again, as always, for where he's kind of taken his brand and the things that he comes out with, because he knows makeup so well. And then lastly, I got a PR package from Kaleidos. They came out with a new collection called the Fresh Fantasy Collection, and their packaging is just really like innovative, and it's different. It's different than anything that's kind of out on the market, and I really appreciate that about the brand. And I also love like their packaging with all the different colors and like artsy vibe that it gives. I get along with their eyeshadows really well, so I was really excited to get this in PR. They came out with this Lucid Lip in Dramatize LG04. So here's the package on this guy. And this is a gloss right here. It's kind of got a coral sheen to it with golden sparkles in it. Gold and kind of pink and, yeah, gold, pink, and I think I see some silver in there as well. There really isn't a scent to these, but that is the Dramatize right there, and they're called, again, the Lucid Lip, but it's like a lip gloss. The collection also had 3 contour palettes with a light, medium, and kind of deep version of each. And then the packaging on these is really interesting because it folds out, and then there's kind of a little guide in there for how to use the product, which is just nice that they kind of multi-use the packaging. Their matte formulations, both in their eyeshadows and like these palettes, are so like finely milled and buttery, but still pigmented. It's just a very beautiful type of a formula. I haven't been into like contouring and highlighting with like matte or really chiseling out my face. I just basically, you know, bronzer and highlight type of deal. But this is a really pretty one because the shades for contouring aren't too gray, I feel, and they're not too warm either. So this is the light one. It's called the Cool and Light Charisma Contour Palette. Magnetic packaging like this, which is cute and kind of compact, and then there's a mirror in there. There's a total of 0.28 ounces of product in here, and it's made in the PRC. So here are the 3 shades, and again, this is the light version. Yeah, these just feel like silk. They really do. They're so soft. And they're just really good shades, especially for a fair skin tone if you're into contouring. They're not too like greeny or too gray or too warm. They're just a really pretty shade. So that's the light one. This one's the warm and medium. This particular shade is a little bit more warm compared to the one in the light version. So there is the warm and medium, right? Yep. warm and medium. And here's the front of that one. They each kind of have a little bit of a different art on the front. This one is the warm and deep version right here. It does have a little plastic that says fill, shade, and chisel that goes over the top. This one here has got some nice rich shades. So I think if you have a deeper skin tone, you've been looking for something that's a little bit more rich, this might be a good one. Oh gosh, they're so soft. I can't get over how soft they are. You ever guys like, you know, stick your hands in a bag of flour? Well, I used to do that just to feel how soft it is. That's kind of what it reminds me of when I feel these. Anyway. Very rich one right there. So that one is the warm and deep. I just think that these are a really good array of tones in 3 different, you know, light, medium, and deep colors. So there's the warm and deep right there. And then lastly from that collection, there were 2 eyeshadow palettes. And again, I love the eyeshadows from Kaleidos. They're just very rich and kind of unique. The packaging's fun. The shimmers in their eyeshadow palettes are just so reflective and kind of multi-dimensional. So I just kind of live for it. This first one is the Futurism 7 Sashimi City eyeshadow palette. And if I could change just one thing, it would be that they printed the names of the shadows either on the back or on the inside of the palette, because the only way you can see the names is with this plastic piece right here. And sometimes I put it in the other way. So I'm like, do I have it the right direction? But I mean, not that it's like a huge deal, but that's how they name them. But this is the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today. I didn't incorporate any other shades, but it's this guy. And again, I'm just living for the eyeshadow look, like that pink toned Wayne Goss highlighter shift with that pinky shade on my lid. I just feel like they pop each other or complement each other really well. So this one's got 2 shimmers, which are these 2, and then 4 matte shades. There's kind of a warmer deep brown and then a little bit cooler deep brown right there. But let's swatch these guys. Their mattes again in here are just so soft, like flour. I really love the look that came out of this palette when I used it today. And then these 2 mattes. So those are the swatches right there for the Futurism 7, what I call it, Sashimi City right there. And then this next one is the Futurism 8 Lunar Lavender. And this is the packaging on this guy right here. This also has the little plastic with the names on it. And then this one has 2 shimmers as well and 4 matte shades. I really can't get over the feeling of their mattes, like how smooth and soft they are. I think my cat is snoring. And then these 2. Oh, this shade just gives me all the feels, man. So that one right there is the Lunar Lavender Futurism 8 palette. And again, those are from Kaleidos Makeup. It's just a really fun, kind of exciting brand for me. A huge thank you to Kaleidos for sending over that collection. And that's everything that I have for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.